Hi, you're welcome to another session of our SPSS and Statistics Training Program. My name is Williams, and we can link up on Say Africa on YouTube and Facebook, and then Say Africa One on IG and Twitter. Today we are looking at descriptive statistics and chart options in SPSS. Now, before you run any descriptive statistics on any kind of data, there is one important question you need to ask. What variable is involved? This is because you cannot just select any kind of descriptive statistics or chart and apply it on any kind of variable. Some may be inappropriate. Don't forget to subscribe to Say Africa on YouTube. Let's quickly go through the kind of variables we may have in our data set to help us know which descriptive statistics options or charts would be appropriate for the kind of data we have. So when we take variable may either be categorical or numerical. Let's take the categorical first. As the name suggests, categories, so categorical. This means that the variable is putting respondents into groups, into categories. An example is gender, male and female. Another example, level 100, 200, 300, 400. Another example, marital status, married, divorced, single, and so on. Now, when we have any kind of variable that is putting respondents into groups, then it falls under categorical variable. Now, in categorical variable, we have types. The first type of categorical variable is nominal. So note that nominal is a type of categorical variable. So it has to get the qualities of categorical variable. But in nominal, order is not important. So none of the groups is higher than the other. An example is hall of affiliation, political party, gender. Let's take them one after the other. Hall of affiliation. If you are in Ugwa, you are not better than any person or another person who is in ATL or Casford or any other hall. If you are in NDC or NPP, you are not better than any other person who is in CPP. If you are male, you are not better than female. So we can see that these variables are putting respondents into groups, but no one is better or higher than the other. Now, the other type of categorical variable is ordinal. Here, order is important, so some of them are higher than others. So an example is level at the university. Level 100, 200, 300, 400 are not the same. Level 400s are higher. Rank in the police service. So you can have IGP, constable, and so on. So you can see that they are not the same. Some are higher than others. So you can also talk about ranks in GES. So you can have Director 1, Director 2, Director 3, and so on. You can see that they are not of the same height. Some are higher than others. Now, the other type of variable is numerical. And numerical, as the name suggests, numbers. So variables that do not put respondents into categories, but looks at the numerical values of the issues of interest. Under numerical variables, we also have types. The first type of numerical variable is discrete. Now, with the discrete variables, note that it is also a type of numerical variable. So it has to also get qualities of numerical what? Variable. Now, in the discrete variables, here They are the things we count, and they cannot assume decimals. An example is number of cars. You cannot count the number of cars you have and say I have 2.5 cars. Which car is the 0.5? You cannot count the number of children you have and say my children are 8.3. Who is the 0.3? You can also count the number of pets you have and get a decimal. So the discrete numerical variables are variables that can be counted and they cannot assume decimals. Now the other type of numerical variable is continuous. These are the numerical variables we measure and they can assume decimals. An example is weight. Someone can say that my weight is 45.3 kg. We can also get temperature, we measure voltage. Now we are going back to SPSS to check how these variables look like and what descriptive options are appropriate for each of them, so that we will not just be picking any descriptive options anyhow for any kind of data we have, which may not be appropriate. All right, so we are welcome back to SPSS. We have our data entered nicely, a number of variables here. We have already learned how to code and enter data like this. If you have any difficulty, you may want to refer to our previous videos on data coding and entry so that you can address all the issues you have. And then let's go to the variable view. So we have a number of variables here. We are going to check each of them to see if they are categorical or numerical, so that we can find out which descriptive statistics options or charts are appropriate for such kind of variables. So the first variable we can see on the screen is gender. Let's go to the value column and see. So values. So for gender, it is putting the respondents into groups, males and females, one for males, two for females. And because it is grouping respondents or putting them into categories, it is a categorical variable. But which kind of categorical variable is this? Here, order is not important. Males are not better than females, and the opposite is also the same. So it is a nominal categorical variable. That is why the measure is nominal. The same applies to school. Let's go to the values for school. We have UCC, UG, KNUST, and so on up to UDS. And here, order is not important. So UCC is not better than KNUST, and UDS is also not better than UG. So order is not important. So it is also a nominal variable for school. Now let's take the level, which is the third variable. When we go to the value column, we have level 100, 200, 300, 400, and then postgraduate as the last one, which is 5. So 1 for level 100 and so on up to 5 for postgraduate. Here, it is also putting respondents into groups or categories. So it is a categorical variable, but order is important. Level 100 is lower than postgraduate, and also level 400 and so on. So we can see the measure for level as ordinal. So we have 3 categorical variables. Now we also have some numerical variables. The first one is temperature. So we can see that here they have no categorization. That is why the value columns are none. So the researcher or whoever entered this data has not categorized them into groups. It is just the numerical values of each of the issues under discussion that have been inputted as we have from wherever or whichever source they were obtained. So we can see that their measures are scale. So it is telling us that they are not categorical, they are numerical, so they are measured on scales. All right, so let's start with the categorical variables. So gender, school, level. If you want to run descriptive statistics on any of these variables or any variable that is categorical, the best or appropriate option is to run frequencies and percentages. This is because categorical variables put respondents into groups. So you may be interested to find how many people are in group 1, group 2, group 3. So example, gender. Respondents have been put into two groups, males and females. So you may be interested to find how many people are males and how many people are females. School, you may be interested to find how many of the respondents are from UCC, KNUST, UG, and so on, with their respective percentages, and so on for levels. So how many of them are in level 100, level 200, 300, 400, and so on. You cannot run means and standard deviations for categorical variables. And I'll show you why you cannot do that. But let's do the correct one first, the frequencies. So you go to Analyze, Descriptive. So frequencies are here. We click on it. Let's say we want to do for gender. So we push gender into the variable box and then click on OK. So it has brought the output nicely, and we can see that there were 22 males and 24 females. Total is 46, with their respective percentages also indicated 47.8 and 52.2. We also have the valid percentage and cumulative percent. We will deal with which ones to use in other videos, but now we are looking at getting the output. So we have frequencies and then their respective percentages. Let's say I want to do same for the school, so descriptive frequencies. So I'm doing for categorical frequencies. I'm done with gender. You can also do it together anyway. So let me do together for school and then level. So I'm pushing school and level together so that we can see that we can also do multiple analysis. So each one comes. The first one is respondents, university or school. So UCC 5, UG 11, KUST 8, UW 12, and so on. Total 46 with their respective percentages. And we can also see for level 100 to postgraduate, each of them has got its own frequency and percentage. Now, I mentioned that you cannot run means and standard deviations for categorical variables. Let's try it and see what will come. So I go to Analyze, Descriptives, and I go to Descriptives. Let's say gender. Gender is already here. And I want to run means and standard deviations. So I go to Option, mean is selected, standard deviation is selected, minimum and maximum. I click on Continue and I click on OK. So I've commanded SPSS to bring out output of means and standard deviations for a categorical variable, which is wrong. Now look at this. The minimum is 1, maximum is 2, mean is 1.5217. Look at this carefully. We said that 1 is for males and 2 is for females. So of course the two numbers we entered were 1 and 2. It is saying that the mean of the two numbers is 1.5217. 1.5 is in between 1 and 2. But there are two categories. Are we saying that those who fall here are between males and females? It doesn't make sense. So you cannot run means and standard deviations for categorical variables. The output will come, but it doesn't make sense. So note that whatever command you give to SPSS, you will get output. So I always tell my friends that SPSS does not understand statistics. It only follows commands. So if I've asked SPSS to run means for categorical data and it has brought output, it doesn't mean the output is correct because it doesn't make sense. All right, so let's say you want to put any of the categorical variables on a chart. Then this is how you go about it. We have first identified that for categorical variables, we cannot run means and standard deviations. What we can do is to run frequencies with their respective percentages. So this is what you do. Analyze descriptive frequencies. Now we want to put these variables on a chart. Note that you cannot also select any chart and put categorical variable on it. It has to be an appropriate chart. So we have respondents, university, level, and then, okay, let me leave gender and do for these two. So let's say I want to put the school and then the level on chart. So you can see chart here. I click on it and then I have three options: bar chart, pie chart, histogram. Note that you cannot put categorical variable on a histogram. So if it is categorical, you have two options: bar and pie. However, if you ask SPSS to put the categorical variable on a histogram, it will do it. Once again, SPSS does not understand statistics, it only follows commands. And so, if you ask SPSS to put your categorical data on a histogram, you get an output. So, you should be able to know that you don't have to put categorical variable on a histogram. So, we have two options, bar and pie. Let's say I want to do for bar chart. I click on bar chart and I have the options to either see frequencies display or percentages. Let's say I'm interested in percentages. I click on it and then I click on continue and so on. So let's see. Okay, so the tables have come, but we are done with the table. So let's scroll down for the chart, what we are waiting for. So we can see that it has brought out clearly bars displaying the various percentages of students from each school. So UCC, UG, KNUST, UW, and so on up to UDS. Let's say you are interested to see the various percentages of frequencies in the bars. You double click on it and then you have this option. Then you go to elements, then you go to show labels, then they come. So we can see that the various percentages have been displayed on the bars if you want them to show like this. Okay, so we can see that. So this is also level at the university. The various bars are there and I double click on it. It gives me options on things I want to do. So you can explore these options. You cannot go through all of them now. So you can explore and then you learn a lot of things. So we have been able to put the categorical variables on a bar chart. So we did for level and then the school. So let's say I want to put any of these variables also on a pie chart. This is what we do. So analyze, descriptives. Okay, let me use the variable names instead of the label so that it can be clearer. Display names. All right. So let's say I want to do that of gender. I'm putting gender and then maybe level on pie chart. So I go to the chart and I select pie. And then let's say now I'm interested in, even if it is frequencies. Okay, so I select percentages, continue. Okay, let's see what comes up. And then the two charts have come. This is the first one for gender. And we can see males are the blue, females are the red. Let's say I'm interested in displaying the frequencies or the percentages. I double click and I go to elements, show labels, and here they come. So I have 52.17%, 47.83% for males. So some people may want to change colors and stuff. So you can explore this area too. You can change even these colors, the blue and then the red, and then even the colors within the text box. So let me close it and then move on. Let's go to the next one for levels. So we can see a number of them: level 100, 200, 300, postgraduates, and so on. And you can equally display their various percentages on the chart. Now let me show you why you cannot put categorical variable on a histogram. So analyze, let's say I still want to put it on a histogram, which is wrong. So frequencies and then maybe gender, and then I choose this chart histogram. It's wrong, but SPSS will let you do it because you are supposed to know that you are not supposed to put categorical variable on a histogram. So I'm saying that it should even bring the normal curve. Then I click OK. Let's see if it will give us an output. So this is what comes. So the output that has come is helping us to know that there is something wrong with what we have done. But note that if you were not able to know that you are not supposed to put categorical variable on a histogram and you have done it, then it is difficult for you to even identify the error here, because if you can identify the error, then you should have known that you don't have to put categorical variable on a histogram. So histogram is supposed to have bars together, but you can even see spaces and so on. And we can't see the various groupings, just the 1 and 2 here and some other numbers in between and then at the beginning and the end. So you don't have to put categorical variable on a histogram. So we are left with the other part of the data, which is the continuous aspect of the data, which includes temperature, speed, score, and salary. Let's do that in a part 2 and explore how we can also present continuous variables using descriptive statistics and charts. Thanks for studying with us. See you again. Bye.